Our political system today is full of controversy, finger-pointing, and unethical behavior. Daily news is covered in headlines about the news scandal of the week, ranging from corporations defrauding its customers to the president's infidelities. And most recently, the controversy has been on the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Allegations of unethical behavior Judge Kavanaugh participated in high school has become front-page news. These allegations sparked my thinking. Where do we draw the line? Should public officials be held accountable for their youthful indiscretions? Do these indiscretions make an impact on how public officials will represent us and our country? My name is Jennifer Almanza, and I will be addressing and challenging the thinking about this question. Merriam-Webster dictionary defines youthful indiscretion as a minor mistake made by a young person. The issue with this definition is that it leaves the severity of an indiscretion up to interpretation. What is minor from one person's perspective may be major to someone else. Another factor that impacts this interpretation is based on someone's past and the experiences they have encountered. An article I read in the Christian Science Monitor discussed the legacy of boys will be boys in American life. The idea that boys should prepare for manhood by exploring their own testosterone and alcohol-fueled wildness has been accepted by many Americans. This is also known as locker room talk. If we fast forward 20 years and that same boy who was allowed to be wild and explore his testosterone wants to be nominee for a public official seat, does it matter what he did when he was a young adolescent in high school or college? What if he smoked weed or got a DWI? What if he was accused of rape or assault? Does any of this factor into how this individual will perform in their duties to the American people? Let's view this from the ethical approach of the common good.
Greek philosophers contributed to the notion that life in a community is good in itself, and our actions should contribute to this life. The intertwining of these relationships within a community is the basis of ethical reasoning and respect with compassion for others. Understanding the common good is greater than just understanding that our actions contribute to the greater life. It is taking into account that contributing to the common good through our actions is what matters. Most children learn how to share and apologize at a young age. They are taught that they need to be kind to their friends and respectful to adults. These teachings are lessons children learn at a young age. They are told that everyone should be treated the same, and we should always do the right thing. This lesson should be ingrained in all of us. But there is something else other than the common good that we need to take into consideration. This derailer is known as free will. The Greek philosophers and the founding fathers of our great country had the same idea of what is needed to promote the common good. This expresses that the common good is not just an internal issue, it is a national issue. Our forefathers documented in our Constitution about this lesson. As it goes, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. When a public official is sworn into office, they take an oath to protect and defend the American people. There have been those who have taken this oath and broken it, those who have taken this oath and crossed the line of unethical territory, and those who have taken the oath with no intention to abide by it. As I mentioned before, we have all been blessed with the gift of free will, even those in public office. We are all human and make mistakes, but do our mistakes define who we are? Do mistakes foreshadow what type of leader someone will be to the people? This debate is an ethical dilemma in our society today. Psychologist Lawrence Colbert studied a person's ability to deal with ethical issues and concluded that these abilities can develop later in life, and this development can be impacted by one's education. What Colbert concluded was that a person's moral capacity does not form all at once, but in stages. Let's review these stages and what they mean. The first stage is pre-conventional. This stage represents the earliest moral stage in which children learn how to define right and wrong. This can be learned by picking up cues of those in authority or how they are rewarded or punished. The second stage is conventional level. This is the highest stage some individuals' moral development will get to. In this stage, individuals determine what the moral norms is based on external factors such as their family, friends, and society. At this stage, individuals justify their moral beliefs based on what they learned growing up, or on what the law says, not based on what is right for the common good. The third and final stage is pre-conventional level. At this level, individuals are no longer determining their moral values based on their loyalties or society, but based on what is best from a universal point of view, what is best for everyone. Most individuals who reach the post-conventional level have something in common: a higher education that includes studies that will challenge a student's thoughts of ethical view from a universal perspective. But does having a higher education that includes ethics mean that an individual will no longer behave unethically? Does this mean that youthful indiscretions of public officials at this level no longer matter because they have reached the post-conventional level? The history of ethical dilemmas of public officials is easy to find, and if history is a depiction of what we should expect from public officials' ethical actions, then we may have some problems. KLRN posted an article during the 2016 elections titled, "When Power Corrupts: 16 of the Biggest Political Scandals of the Last 50 Years." Let me refresh your memory on just a few of these. 1972, Watergate. President Nixon and his administration engaged in questionable activities to ensure his re-election, then tried covering it up. 1988, Senator Gary Hart. Possible presidency chances came to a halt when he was suspected of having marital infidelities. 1992, Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky's infidelity. Need I say more about that? 2002, Congressman Jim Traffickin. Congressman was convicted of bribery, racketeering, and corruption. 2005, Tom DeLay. Former House Majority Leader was accused of allegedly laundering money. 2008, John Edwards. John Edwards was a senator and candidate for the presidency. Of course, his extramarital affairs came out during his presidency run, and he fathered a child with his mistress. 2012, David Petraeus, CIA director, was also caught in an extramarital affair, and his mishandling of classified information got him removed from his post. Did all these men go into public office with the intent to be unethical? Or did they truly believe they were ethical and would never get caught up in a scandal? If we look deeper into the past, including their young adulthood, would this have shed some clues of what was possibly to come with individuals who have done unethical things while representing the people? Using Colbert's stages of morality and reference the post-conventional level to answer this question, then we would not expect something like this to happen. But again, sometimes our free will gets in the way of us acting ethically. Let's look at some youthful indiscretions. During George W. Bush's run for president, he was asked if he ever did drugs. His campaign responded that he had not used drugs in the past 25 years. Senator Bush went on to be President George W. Bush and had no personal scandals throughout his presidency, although there were some within his staff. If we change gears and look at President Clinton, he admitted to smoking weed in college, but denied inhaling. Should this have been a sign of his ethical behavior? If someone really looked into this, would they have known what was possibly to come, just not how? Maybe. Just recently in the Texas Senate race, Beto O'Rourke addressed his youthful indiscretions of drunk driving and misdemeanor burglary. He has taken accountability and apologized to the Texas citizens. Does this make a difference? Does being upfront, taking accountability for your actions, make a difference on how the nation sees you? On how you would behave possibly if you went in to a seat and represented the people? In order to ensure that our public officials are being held accountable and working towards the common good, we the citizens need to do our part in asking the tough questions and demanding that those individuals who sign up to serve us and our nation hold up their side of the deal. So what questions and actions should we be asking and taking as citizens? This will vary, of course, from each individual, but I think some baseline questions could be the following. What do you believe compromises the ethical environment in public service? What does the common good mean to you? Have you ever had times in which you've had ethical issues arise? How did you address these if you did? Based on history, this category of questions aren't always addressed directly or honestly, but asking them can help us better understand where public officials stand on ethical dilemmas and help us determine if we think they are looking out for the common good of the nation. Not only will it ensure that our public officials are realizing that the common good is important, but it allows us to challenge other people who are voting so they can start opening their minds and thinking, well, what if something unethical happens? In a study by Liz L. Shue and Francisca Gino from Harvard University, they pointed out that we have motivated forgetting. What is this? Well, their research shows that we try and regulate our memories in several ways. Two of these ways include how people direct their attention to these memories and by intentionally suppressing unwanted thoughts. When I ponder on this study, I can't help but to think back to the Kavanaugh nomination to the Supreme Court controversy. Is he innocent of the allegations against him, or is he guilty, but his memory of the events that occurred so many years before have changed? No matter what the answer is, no matter what party you support, and even if this accusation goes against your beliefs, I challenge you to think about this topic from how you feel, not from how you feel, but from an ethical viewpoint. Does youthful indiscretions of public officials impact their ability to do what is right for the common good of our nation? Is it right to judge an individual wanting to serve our nation based on things that they did before they even imagined being president of the United States, being on the Supreme Court, in Congress, or any other type of service that serves the common good? Are we teaching our young people in school, through college, and through their careers that being unethical is not okay? We need to look back at ourselves. We need to look back at our children. We need to look at the people we are voting to run our country and determine, does their one mistake make a difference to how they will treat the nation and the common good for our nation? Does one mistake label you as unethical? Or is there forgiveness in this mistake? Is there accountability in this mistake? Of course, everyone will see this differently. Everyone will have a different opinion. But when it comes to ethics, it's almost as trying to look at something black and white, but that is really gray. So again, should public officials be judged by what they did in their youth? Or is there a cutoff time to which, as Kohlberg mentions, our ethics grow, our ethical decisioning grows? But if that is the case, why are there so many scandals within our political system, within those who should be serving the common good? Every day, every year, every month, for every election, it is all over the news. So let's think about how we want to see our future, how we want to see the people who are representing us, and what example we want to set for the future leaders that are looking up to us to set an example. Remember, be responsible and support the common good. Raise your hand, ask the questions. Be the ethical person that our country needs in such an unethical time. Again, my name is Jennifer Bayesa. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope this has helped open and broaden your thinking of what it means to spread the common good and what it means to look at our political figures and the people serving our country in a different light, and not just judging them on one action, whether it was in their youth or in their adulthood. Thank you and have a great day.